Good evening. We're going to call this April 28th, 2025 regular meeting of the City of Coolidge City Council to order. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Norm, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Tom Bagnall.
Present.
Councilmember Audrey Saavedra.
Here.
Councilmember Steve Hudson.
Here.
Mayor John Thompson.
Here.
Councilmember Ian Gillespie.
Here.
Vice Mayor Tatiana Murrieta. Here. And Councilmember Tom Shelby. Thank you. We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you, Norma. Okay, under presentations, item number 3, monthly report by the Coolidge Chamber of Commerce. I saw Lynn. Good evening, Lynn.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. Our reinvestments for February are Arcadian Insurance of Arizona, Calvary Chapel of Coolidge, Cool HQ, Coolidge Pediatricians, Cox Business, Day Auto Supply, Domino's Pizza, Felix Construction, Grand Vista Motel, Hope International Ministry and Food Pantry, K&B Homes, Moonlight Motel, Remax A Bar Z Realty, Renewals by Anderson, Ringo Canyon Granite, Procter & Gamble, and Top CD. Our visitors for February were 466 local, 15 in-state visitors, 6 out-of-state visitors, 1 foreign. Total referrals was 2,463. Year-to-date visitors was 721. The Casa Grande Ruins was at 14,953. Year-to-date at 28,247. Pinal Geology Museum was 261 visitors in February, 453 year-to-date. That's really moving on up. DAV Museum is 65, and year-to-date is 81. We had the State of the City, which we got a good turnout, lots of positive feedback. We did a business expo partnering with Eloy and Florence. We had about 34 businesses between the 3 chambers. It was great networking for the businesses, to business, along with the public. Next year, Coolidge will host it. We had a great meeting with Southern Arizona Sports Tourism Film Authority, and CAC really showed off the baseball field. So it's looking like we're going to be able to get the Mexican baseball fiesta here, which if any of you know about it, in Phoenix and Tucson, it was really big deal. So it'll be a mini one of those, but we hope to get that in September. Okay? So thank you for the great job you did at showing that off. We had the Market on the Move, which we had 169 that we did. And then upcoming events is Pinal Partnership Monthly Breakfast on May 2nd, SRP Energy Symposium on the 13th, Membership Luncheon on the 21st, and then again, Market on the Move on the 24th, and that'll be the last one for the season. Any questions?
I don't think so. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is call the public. If anybody in the public wants to address the council, you have up to 3 minutes. Please step up to the podium and leave us your name and your address and go ahead and address us. Seeing nobody rush forward, we'll move out of call the public and move into business items for consent. Are there any items that any member of the council wants pulled off the consent agenda for individual consideration?
Yes, Mayor Thompson, I'd like to pull 7.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, here we go. Item 4, consider approval of a street closure requested submitted by Coolidge High School Student Council to hold a color run fundraiser parade being held on Saturday, May 10th, between 2025, between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. Item 5, consider approval of accepting a Governor's Office of Highway Safety 2025 Buckle Up Arizona Enforcement Campaign Grant, MOU 2025-0405B-502, in the amount of $4,000, awarded to the Coolidge Police Department for expenditures related to the 2025 Buckle Up Arizona. It's the law campaign, enforcement campaign authorizing the city manager and police chief to execute the GOHS MOU agreement. Item 6, consider approval to purchase one animal control truck body from Garrett Motors for an amount not to exceed $48,000, utilizing capital improvement funds, waiving the sealed bid requirements in the best interest of the city, and authorizing the mayor to sign the necessary documents. Item 8, consider approval of entering into a main extension agreement between the City of Coolidge and the Arizona Water Company for the Coolidge Airport well site booster pump and system upgrade project in the amount of $241,300, authorizing the mayor to sign the necessary documents. Item 9, consider approval of the claims for the month of March 2025.
Mayor, I'd like to abstain from voting on number 7, so if you could pull that and vote on that separately, please.
Okay,
And Mayor, just one point, I think I gave you the wrong one that I wanted to pull. It was the one regarding the main extension out at the airport.
oh, okay, so you want 8.
Yeah,
Okay,
please,
then
thank you.
I'll cancel the 8. Well, that will deal with that individually, and I'll read 7 now.
No, I'm sorry, it'd be number 6. I'm going to refrain from number 6, and then you can read number 7.
Okay. Well,
Are you sure now?
no, I'm going to read 7. Consider approval of entering into IWARQ service agreements between the City of Coolidge and IWARQ Systems for the fire, code enforcement, permitting, plan review and inspection management software, authorizing the mayor to sign the necessary documents. And for number 6, you're just recusing yourself. You're not going to vote? Okay. Note that for the record. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, if we can just, for consent, take 4, 5, 7, and 9, then we'll take 6 by itself with Councilmember Hudson declaring a conflict, so we can have a clean vote on all of them.
Okay. So we'll do 4, 5, 7, and 9 right now.
Mayor, I move to approve 4, 5, 7, and 9.
Is there,
Second?
okay, the motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. 4, 5. Okay, let's do 6. Consider approval to purchase one animal control truck body from Garrett Motors for an amount not to exceed $48,000, utilizing capital improvement funds, waiving the sealed bid requirements in the best interest of the city, and authorizing the mayor to sign the necessary documents. Okay,
Move to approve.
is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second, and for the record, Councilmember Hudson's not voting on this. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Now we'll go to 8. Consider approval of entering into a main extension agreement between the City of Coolidge and Arizona Water Company for the Coolidge Airport well site booster pump and system upgrade project in the amount of $241,300, authorizing the mayor to sign the necessary documents. Mr. Myers, good evening.
Hello, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay, I really didn't have any questions with it. I don't have an issue with this. It's just, I just wanted to comment and say that I'm glad that we're continuing to move forward out there. And I guess this is for in the event that they have a fire or something like that, then the hydrants out there will have pressure on them that would assist in that.
Yes, it's a total upgrade. It's really going to help us. It sends a best and help these tenants, get their fire flows that's required for these large structures. And this has been in the works quite a while, and I'm glad we're doing it. We have the flows, but there's no redundancy, and these investors, they need a real fire system out there, and this brings it out there.
Okay, and this is all using out of capital, or is some of the airport money coming out of this, or
All capital. Yeah, it's all capital.
it's all capital? Okay. All right, well, that was really just about it, but again, I think it's great that we're continuing to move forward out there and make it more attractive to bring more businesses in out there, because, I mean, we've got a great start, and we just need to keep pushing it forward.
I think the next thing, we'll get these roads going.
There you go. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
With that, Mayor, I'd like to go ahead and move to approve item 8 of the consent agenda.
Okay. All right, does anybody else have any comments? Okay, not hearing any, then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that carries. Well, looks like we're into business regular items. Item 10, consider approval of a street closure request submitted by Miss Megan Holmes to hold a parade for Ella's 5th birthday butterfly fight being held on Saturday, May 3rd, 2025, between 2 and 3:30 p.m. Who has this? Norma?
Yes, Honorable Mayor, and members of the council. The city clerk's office, along with the Community Services Department, received a request from Miss Megan Holmes. She is in the audience tonight. We invited her to come out. She's requesting a street closure right around the Tractor Supply area, up Caroline, up 8th Place, down Shannon's Way, where her and her daughter reside, for a parade to celebrate her 5th birthday. She has obtained the necessary insurance that is required by the city. We let the Public Works Department know, we let the Police Department know, and Community Services. She filled out the special event application. So she is here. I don't know if you'd like to get up, Ms. Holmes, and address the council, but you're welcome to come up to the podium there. We thought it was a very, neat event, very heartwarming. So maybe she can share a little bit more.
Hi.
Hi.
So my niece is turning 5. She has leukemia and she can't have a 5th birthday party. So we're all trying to get together and just do like a and we're expecting up to 100 cars. So we are wanting a little bit of safety just to make sure that nobody's, going wrong direction, running stop signs, stuff like that. And it's pretty much just going to be an hour drive through around the block, honking, signs. That's pretty much it. So
Anybody have any questions? We don't have anybody from the police department here.
Mayor,
But they are aware.
the chief got detained, so he couldn't be here. The chief, oh, sorry. Mayor, the chief got detained, so he couldn't be here. So he apologized for that, but he told me he had got detained. So if we need to get somebody, I know that he's aware of it and everything, because Ben was on the email, the chief was on, nobody had an issue with it. So everything's covered. They're going to have police vehicles there close by, I think 2 of them, is what I understand.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Are they going to have somebody to lead it and
Yes.
bring up the tail?
Yes.
I mean,
I think-
100 cars on that route, they may all be bumper to bumper to try to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I know
that,
Mrs. Holmes requested some police escort, right?
yes,
Yeah.
and we also we were gonna have somebody at the entrance where they started, and we were gonna do 20 by 20 cars. That way, it can go in sections. So the front's not hitting the end. So once the first 20 cars loop around, the next 20 gets.
okay, that's a good idea. And before you leave that microphone, can you give us your name and
Yes, it's Megan Holmes, and my address is 381 East Congress. here in
Thank you,
Coolidge.
thank you, Megan. That's because somebody's taking notes over there.
Okay. And we also provided notices for anybody living on Caroline, the apartments on the end of 8th and all up Shannon's Way, to let them know that there will be road closure, so they can
Get out or get in
plan
before the
accordingly.
parade?
Yes.
Okay,
So,
all right. Did you have something that
Oh, she brought it up before I got up here.
oh, okay.
Cars.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's it.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Is there anything further?
Nope.
Okay, then I need a motion to act.
Mayor, if there's no further discussion, I make a motion we approve business item 10 as read.
Your second?
Second.
Okay, motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion carries. Good luck, ladies. Be safe. Item 11, consider approval of the fiscal year 25-26 benefit plans by remaining with Blue Cross Blue Shield as the insurance provider for medical, dental, and life insurance. Remaining with VSP through principal for vision, including the same carriers for all ancillaries with the exception of moving to UMB Healthcare Services for FSA and HSA, authorizing the city manager to execute the necessary documents. Mr. Johnson, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor and council members. Beautiful recap, basically. Just to give you a little bit more detail, we did see a little bit higher claims this year, a number of higher large claims, and so started off as a little bit of a struggle. Increases were higher, but we were able to work through that with the carriers, bring them down, and got them all into the very low single digits or rate passes on some of them. So when you start comparing it to other municipalities and other employers in the area, you're actually in the single digit. For the average renewal this year, about 10%. And so the highest you got was a 3.75 and lower. And then on the UMB, that is a bank. It's the number 5 bank in the for FSAs and HSAs, and we're able to actually bring your costs down, cut them at about a half, and the HSA accounts become free. And so it was just an all-around good move to save the employees and the town some money.
Anybody here?
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions.
Sure.
If the no bid offer is 3.75, what were they offering?
Beforehand,
Yeah.
it was 7.25.
7.25.
Yes.
So how can they bring it down so much with just because they're keeping the business or?
Well, I would like to think it's me, but actually, I have a huge block of business with all the carriers, and so what I do is I go through your guys' claims data, and so without giving out any names or anything, but you guys had 16 large claims this year. Last year, you were closer to about 6, so there was a huge climb in that. So they were asking for more on the front side. I go through these reports, and I sit there and say, hey, look at this claim, look at this claim. These are shock claims versus ongoing claims. I go and I make a case, and I talk them off the ledge is what I basically do, and get them to bring it down. And so I come in and I actually talk with Norma and Bridget and Gabe, and I go, okay, what do you know about this particular claim? Do you know anything? And if they know something, I'm able to take that information back and work it in your favor. And that's kind of the process that I go through.
So you kind of have them take the good with the bad.
Yep. So, and if there's something that comes out that actually would make it worse, I don't do that with the carrier. So I keep the good stuff and I keep that, and that's bad stuff, I just sweep that to the side.
Yeah, that's a smart business move. I mean, we back in the old days of the car business, when over the weekends, we'd get a bunch of people with great credit, people with bad credit, said, you want these people, you gotta take these people too. You can't do that now, but you just use a little leverage. And
I try and leverage as much as I possibly can, and as a matter of fact, the 3 cities here in a row are all with Blue Cross, and so I'm able to use that to also kind of level it out and kind of keep things in your guys' favor as well. So.
If we over the years, how many times have we done the no bid thing?
Geez, I would guess probably 3 times out of the last 10. I'd have to go back and double check. We typically will do that when we have a spike in claims.
Right.
And because if we release that information out to the market, then you're it's out there type of a thing. And so if I can avoid that and get things below the budgets, then I do that. I push for a no bid. But if you didn't have quite so many large claims, then I would push for taking it out to market and seeing where it lands.
Okay.
But you guys did have at least 2 claims that are ongoing nature that would make it difficult that other carriers would come in. They're going to rate it higher because they don't have the rest of the story behind how those claims are flowing.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm just curious, is there is there any rule of thumb or anything that we have, no bid situation? I mean, can we do that from year to year to year to year, or is there something like every 5 years you do have to go out to bid?
No, Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Bagnell, we went out to bid to get Mr. Johnson to be our broker for the insurance and to negotiate these for us. I think we went out to bid for Mr. Johnson a few years ago. And so potentially, if that comes up in the future, if we go out for another bid for Mr. Johnson, we would do it at that, I mean, that's who we bid for, is who's going to be our broker.
Okay. Yeah, because I just had spoken to, well, it was my brother. One of my brothers was in that business. He's retired from it now, sold his business, but he was telling me that with like school districts, they have like every 5 years or so, they have to go ahead and actually go out to bid. That's why I was just wondering. I don't know if it was the same thing for cities or municipalities or anything like that.
I don't know exactly when we went out to bid before. It's been a couple years. But it would be for who was going to be our broker.
Right.
During the
Okay.
process.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Do you have a program where you or some of your people or our staff go to meet with the employees when you have these cases that are sky high compared to what they have been?
So that's a great question, but due to HIPAA, so when I get the data, I see the claims, like, hey, this person's actively with cancer. I know what their age is, and I know they spent $275,000 over the last 12 months. That's all I know. So when I come in and I talk with them, say, hey, I'm sure you guys know of an employee who's probably out on FMLA, and they're able to give me a little information as to if the treatment is more on the tail end as opposed to mid-treatment type of a thing, because you guys are a tight-knit community and you talk to each other. And so I use that information to try and bring those renewals down when I possibly can, if that's where you're going with that.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Nothing. Well, I think you've done an excellent job. We got beat up pretty good by some other carriers over the years, so. If there's nothing further, I need a motion to act.
Mayor, if there's no further discussion, I make a motion we approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Item 12, consider approval of the infrastructure services plan for the Central Arizona College annexation.
Mayor,
Gilbert?
Vice Mayor, council members. This is for the Central Arizona College annexation. Before we can actually, or yourselves can actually look at an ordinance, state law requires us to adopt or look at an infrastructure services plan on how the city plans to service any needs of the college, fire, water, whatever comes up. And so this is the plan that does that. Went through it, checked it, everything is current, all the fees, all the things that are in there. So we adopt this, if you so choose, you adopt this first, and then the next item is the ordinance actually passing the annexation and adopting it. And I'll answer any questions you may have.
Well, Mr. Lopez, I didn't see anything that was out of order in the, but does anybody have any questions or comments?
I've got a few. So currently out at the college, they have fire hydrants, right? Out at the college, so
Believe they do.
in the event of a fire that,
Yeah.
it's just, okay,
Yeah, because they have a water system, and
All right.
Arizona Water, I believe, services it. Yeah.
right. And then all streets and roadways are maintained by the college, okay?
Yes, they're private.
And then, I know if we're gonna provide sewer, I know that I asked at the last meeting if, the college would be going ahead and footing the bill to run the sewer line, so that is correct?
Yes.
And now, in doing so, will you, if they do an oversized sewer line, because I can just see that, by running that out there, it's just gonna open the area up for development. And that's something we don't have to do, but will the college be able to be reimbursed for the sewer line if they run it out there, or a portion of it if somebody taps into it?
Yes, we wouldn't require them to oversize and pay for the cost, so there would be some mechanism for them to recoup the cost from the property owner it goes through. The only one is a Lafferty, and so it's a pretty straight shot from the college back, and it would connect pretty easily to the Signal Peak lift station, which is pretty deep, so there shouldn't be a lot of work. And that's at whatever time the college needs to do that. And at this point, there's not an urgency, but there is, the Penn Center is going to be replaced.
Right.
And so that, anticipate that that'll have more bathrooms and it'll be larger, so it can have community events. So at that point, I believe it can be worked into that budget, that the connection, the infrastructure, the size of the lines can be built into that.
Okay. So I take it the college currently takes care of their own sewer,
Yes, they have a pond system, yeah.
so, and that's probably getting close to capacity, I would imagine,
Yeah.
so. All right, and then, let me see, and Arizona Water, do they service the college as well? Okay, so good, that works out. And then, any sales tax that we derive, would we get it, sales tax from cafeteria, bookstore, things like that, or does that not play into it?
Yeah,
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. My understanding is that it would be subject to tax, but we should probably double check on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
It's not going to be a huge amount. It's not
Right.
like we're doing a lot, but
yeah, every little bit helps.
every little bit helps. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Name, position?
Andrew Clegg, Central Arizona College, 8470 West Overfield Road, Coolidge.
And I think Mr. Clegg answered a lot of your questions, Councilmember Bagnell, just for our record, a lot of the things you were asking, I saw he was answering the questions.
Yeah, I
in
should
the
have got up
back.
earlier. I
He
apologize.
confirmed everything you said for our record.
And Gilbert, we had a developer that was gonna develop down by Twilight Trails, and he was gonna bring the sewer line out there and pay for the sewer line himself. And then he said as people came in, developers come in, he was not gonna negotiate hooking up to it because he's already paid for it.
Yes.
So he would've got some of his money back from the developers, which
Right.
I assume CAC will be doing the same thing.
could do the same mechanism, yes.
Well, you'd probably do it through a development agreement with them as, or how would you do that?
Is it development we do or a shared cost? They do like an improvement district maybe?
No, it wouldn't be an improvement district, but we're going back in time a little bit. But yeah, no, there would be, if we put together, if they oversize their line to connect to us, to allow the developer that's between us and where our line is now, then they could get compensated from that developer. They wouldn't get compensated
Right.
from the city.
Right.
But that agreement would have provisions in it as long as that person developed within a certain period of time to pay Central Arizona College back for their investment in because if they invested in an oversized line, then they'd be reimbursed that. That's a reimbursement agreement. Sorry, it took me too long to get there. If we recorded against the property, then that would give people a heads up in that
Right.
area to know, hey, there's a reimbursement here agreement for the sewer. And then if they bought that person's property, they'd understand they developed there would be a reimbursement mechanism.
Correct, okay.
And I believe it could be done through an IGA, right, with the school? Intergovernmental agreement? Because they're government
We could
agency.
do
yeah.
an intergovernmental agreement with CAC, but if we require CAC to build an oversized line, then would create a reimbursement agreement that would record against the property. And so when people came in to hook into the sewer, because it would be our sewer, then would let them know what they're gonna have to pay CAC back to do that.
Right, okay. All right, and then, now, on here it says liquid waste user fees. And is that part of the sewer, or what is liquid waste considered? Is that sewer?
Yes. Yes, they're fees, sewer fees. uh-huh.
So does Arizona Water Company is the designated sewer provider out
No.
there?
No, they're the
'Cause
water
that's what it
provider.
says here on liquid waste user fees. Under operating fees, it says Arizona Water Company is the designated sewer provider. I thought that didn't sound right, that's why.
I apologize, it's a typo. Because they're not they're the water provider, but not okay, so water provider, sewer. Okay, it says city is designated wastewater provider for the annex area under sewer. So that's on let's see, so and then water is, Arizona Water Company is the water provider in the area. Wonder if
page 256 of the packet,
256.
bottom,
268 is what you were quoting from?
Yeah.
You were quoting from 268?
So 256,
under, what?
the page, I'm sorry.
Page 256 of the packet. It's got operating fees, then it says business license user fee, liquid waste user fees. Want me to walk this over there?
No,
256, I have the insurance. That's what I have. I have insurance. Are you 266, I wonder?
Yours is different because he's printed it. Mine's.
Liquid waste, user fees, yeah,
operating fees.
11A, I got 12A.
Oh, that's right, because I don't think I updated after. That's why I got the
Oh, okay.
consent.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
'cause
where you got 256.
Okay.
Yeah, we updated,
then-
I was working on this and put in all the updated
Here's,
stuff.
here's where we were quoting from.
Okay. Yeah, because it's just a liquid waste user fee on here.
Operating fees. So that's,
Watertown Designated Sewer Provider.
no, Arizona Water didn't, they're not out there.
It's towards the end.
That's general renewal on mine.
Oh, yeah, that's a typo, I'm sorry.
68?
Yeah, right here.
What is it on yours?
We'll fix it.
Oh, yeah, right here's where you're
Oh,
reading.
Yeah, yeah.
272. So 272 in the packet is where Councilmember Bagnell was reading from.
apologize, I didn't update after they amended the agenda, so I'm off.
That's all right. My 256 is dental.
Yeah, 272.
You don't want liquid waste and dental together.
So currently, there's no designated provider out there right now.
No, the college handles that on their own. They have somebody that actually manages the pond system at this point.
Okay. All right, and then I think there's just a couple of more things. And then I know with fire, I mean, that, that if we have to send a fire engine way out there, so I hope that that's the next thing we're looking at is putting a fire station out in that area, because again, I think with the sewer line going out there, that's gonna spur development, so I think it's gonna be well-founded that we get a fire station out there, so. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we do own the land, some land out there of Signal, what is it, Signal Peak? Where the fire station is now?
Yes, we have the land.
We
and
own the
it's-
land.
We have water, everything available to that site. If we need a station,
And the line going now out there was oversized when we built it,
yes,
sewer line, because Sandia was gonna take off, so unless Sandia takes off, that's the majority of the lots from the CAC Sandia border to Signal Peak, almost.
yeah, Sandia has the ability to do their own, but it was part of the
They
potential.
could build their own. if
Yeah,
they
and then,
want.
but also Martin Valley didn't build all the way out, because they have a lot more lots that they're working on, and I believe they will also, they wanted to meet with us on that, and so I think they'll be developing in the near future. They have water, so that'll go into that lift station.
And I think Sandia has its own CON for water and sewer on their
Yep.
property.
I'm reading the one from,
Yeah, because
that
that's,
they gave us, the book they gave us from when they first came out and wanted to do
that's the
208.
Woodruff Water Company. If anybody's ever heard of the Woodruff Water Company, that's really the Sandia that they created on their property. I think they call it the Woodruff Water Company.
Yes.
Water and Sewer Company.
And we could work with them to allow them to connect. There's about 407 lots that are already platted. And it would be nice to get, they're only down the street like maybe a mile at the most, I think. And if we can get that, and then the rest of it, if they want to do their own, they could do that. But that would give us some more flow and get those houses going. So I've been talking to Ty the Sewer about that.
Yeah, well, like I say, the main line going out there is already oversized,
Way oversized.
way oversized. Okay. Anything else?
Okay.
Line
Nope.
put in twice.
All right, then. Need a motion to act on item number 12.
Okay, I'm going to make the motion to approve the infrastructure and services plan for the Central Arizona College annexation.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Item 13, ordinance number 25-02, an ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Coolidge extending and increasing the corporate city limits of the city of Coolidge, Pinal County, state of Arizona, pursuant to the provisions of Title IX, Chapter 4, Article 7, Arizona Revised Statutes and amendments thereto, by annexing thereto certain territory contiguous to the existing city limits of the city of Coolidge, consisting of 507.5 acres more or less, and located within Section 28, 29, 32, and 33, Township 5 South, Range 7 East of the Gila and Salt River Basin Meridian, Pinal County, known as the Central Arizona College Annexation, and adopting initial zoning of agriculture for said territory.
Mayor Thompson, Vice Mayor, councils, this is the actual ordinance adopting the annexation, and we had a public hearing on April 14th, if you recall. There were no comments and a few questions here and there, but other than that, it's been pretty positive. I'll answer any questions you may have.
Well, I don't know, does anybody have any questions? I don't have any questions. I'd say it's long overdue. I'd like old Casagrande editor's little editorial in his newspaper had something to say about it, but I say it's long overdue and it should have been in Coolidge a long time ago. So that's my comment to them.
Well, I don't think they're gonna wanna drill anything through the mountain for the sewer either, because that's a long way to go to get to their sewers.
Yep.
We are closer for that, so.
Absolutely.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
move to approve item 13, ordinance number 25-02.
Is there a second?
Second.
Choose a second, Norma.
Councilmember Shope?
Here, yes, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Councilmember Bagnell?
Yes.
Councilmember Saavedra?
Here.
Councilmember Hudson?
Yes.
Councilmember Gillespie?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Murieta? And Mayor Thompson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
That's 5 yeses.
We'll do- Report from the mayor and council. We'll start with Councilmember Shope.
I'm okay.
Okay. Now we'll jump down here. Go ahead.
Nothing, thank you.
I've got nothing.
Steve.
I attended the State of the City address with the mayor and met the management from Lucid Motors, who's taken over Nicola. And they've already hired, I think, I know a couple of people have already been hired out there. They're gonna hire, I think it was 100 people at first. And then,
Saw something they were saying 300.
yeah, they're gonna do the 300, but at first, until they move everything over, it's first 100 people. And, but they're making it a powertrain at first. Their powertrain for their cars and stuff. And then hopefully eventually they'll bring their hottest popular item, which is the SUV platform out there, so. But it was interesting to listen to them and they got a pretty good buy on the property. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Mayor.
I have nothing, thank you.
Mayor, the only thing I'll mention, Cabot has a free aerial drone service, and they have it on their website, but their students are training. So what we did is we asked them to run the drone on our tower before the contractor goes up and fixes the lights, because it's flashing and doing some things, and they did a great job. They have went up and they took photos of everything, so we shared it with the contractor resolution that works for Arizona Water also, and they were able to see how many lights were out and the wires were okay, so that we were worried about that. So they did a great job with it. So it's available for the community. It says free aerial drone services available to the community, so keep that in mind if you need to. And then the only other thing I have is the state of Arizona also is doing opened an organization called GATA, and this is some financing mechanism for infrastructure, and they reactivated that, so they offer really good rates for infrastructure needs for cities and tribal communities, especially rural. It's really interesting. They had a picture of this building in the front cover. It says Williams, but they, Gabe was telling me, what we did back in the day is we funded different ones together, and then that's how we did it. And we grouped with some other cities, that's why it said Williams instead of Coolidge. I was like, that's our building, so, but it's correct. So I just want to let you know this is available, we'll be looking at it for really good interest rates and things, okay? That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Gilbert. Is there anything else? Okay, need a motion to adjourn? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you for coming, everybody.